I'm sure you've heard the phrase that seeing is believing. Now that I think of it, that might be a Disney tagline. Please don't sue me. But I'm sure you also didn't know that that concept is one of the key drivers in helping us humans stick to or stick with a challenging change that will improve our lives for the better. I'm talking cold, hard, objective data. And oh, has this little device proven that. But first,
3, 2, 1, go!
say hello to my little friend. This ring. I mean, it is little. Guys, what is happening? Kevin from liftandbalance.com, and we are here to talk about one of the wearables that has changed a lot on how I operate day to day to optimize the pretty cool meat suit that we've all been luckily given. This wearable is nothing other than the Oura Ring. Actually, Gen 2 of the Oura Ring. And now, we pause for a slow zoom in. So, this ring is rather petite. It fits around your finger pretty easily, and it has 3 little biometric bumps that track a whole bunch of statistics around your sleep and activity and provide you each and every morning something called a readiness score to basically tell you, are you ready for the day? And if not, what you can do to become more ready and help drive that healthy lifestyle. Now, I will be the first one to tell you that I hate anything on my fingers, on my wrists. This did not have me jumping up and down for joy when I knew that I'd have to wear a ring for ever or whenever I want to get these metrics. I don't wear watches. I tried the Fitbit for 2 days, hated it. Something around my finger, probably would want nothing of it. Now, I have to say, it did take a little getting used to, but the reason that I still wear it is because the data is just so superb, and it's helping me live the lifestyle that I want to ultimately live for a rather reasonable price. That trade-off was worth it. So let's look into what this ring actually does, right? We'll start with the Oura Ring's bread and butter, and that is sleep. And throughout this video, we'll be diving into the dashboard and pulling back out. And we'll show some cool things too, like how alcohol affects a night's sleep, which you may be surprised to see. I know I was. So, it really is the ultimate sleep tracker. It gives detailed reports of all the different sleep stages and how much you get each night, as well as giving you some guidance on what's generally recommended. If you want to know more about sleep, you can check out the video up here. It is a full breakdown on why you need to start prioritizing sleep. And using a tool like this is just awesome to start making those improvements. Like I said in the intro, seeing is believing. You'll be able to see this data and make adjustments from there. So it will give you data such as total sleep, which is the amount of time that you're actually sleeping, not in bed. Your sleep efficiency, how much of that time in bed you're actually sleeping. Your restfulness, how many times did you wake up throughout the night? And then the stages of sleep. REM sleep, which is your rapid eye movement sleep, which has been shown to be basically overnight therapy. It is the dreaming state. It gets your brain ready for new memory formation in the morning, as well as your light sleep and deep sleep. Light sleep being stage 1 and stage 2, deep sleep being stage 3 and stage 4. And they both do unique things. Light sleep has been associated with skill formation, and deep sleep does so much. It's the real restorative sleep that you want to thrive to get. It also detoxifies the brain through the glymphatic system and performs memory consolidation, basically taking all those memories from the day from that collection zone of the hippocampus and pushing it to long-term storage. Also looks into things such as latency, how long it takes you to get to sleep, and your sleep timing. Our body operates on things such as circadian rhythms. It's that natural sleep-wake cycle, and it's been shown that we operate as humans optimally when we're going to bed as the sun goes down and waking up as the sun goes up. So it shows all that on sleep and can really set you up to make the right adjustments to get the most out of it. Another key thing which is so cool is heart rate variability. So basically, heart rate variability is the time between your heartbeats. So think of it like this. When you have a low heart rate variability, that means that your heart is just pounding away. Bump, 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 bump. When your heart rate variability is high, there's a little more time and disparity between the beats. So it could go bump, 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 bump. So what heart rate variability measures actually is the activation of your nervous system. And there's two main sections of the nervous system that you focus on here. And it's the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is associated with your fight or flight reactions. So that's when your body's all jacked up, ready to act. You're getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger, or more realistically, you're getting yelled at by your boss, or just thinking of it. That activates the sympathetic nervous system. Your heart starts beating a little faster, your blood pressure goes up, you become more stressed, you release the hormone cortisol, and you enter a state of high stress. What's gonna happen? As you can imagine, not a great state to be in. On the other side of that is something called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is associated with rest and digest. This is when you're relaxed, you're calm, nothing could bother you, life is good. This is the state you want to be in for the majority of the time. There's a spot for that sympathetic nervous system reaction, but not when you sleep. Absolutely not. You want to be in that cool, calm, collective state, especially when you sleep. It allows your body to relax and regenerate. That's what heart rate variability tells you. So every morning you will wake up and you'll see your heart rate variability from the night before. It'll give you an average and a max. And the higher your heart rate variability is, the more restorative and the more relaxed you were during the sleep, the more ready you're gonna be the next day. There are a couple of other tools that do this, but they don't give you all the features as the Oura Ring. So something called Whoop is a band that you place on your shoulder, and it measures distinctly that. And it's really created for athletes and recovery and things like that. If you want just that, that's fine. But if you want all these other metrics, the Oura Ring is just awesome with it. I forgot to mention one other really cool thing that it measures is your core body temperature. So to go to sleep efficiently, your body temperature needs to drop at night. It baselines your body temperature and it gives you a reading each morning to say, hey, you're a little above average or a little below average. And as a reaction to that, you can lower the temperature in your room, take a shower before bed to really release that heat. Certain tricks like that will help drop that body temperature so you can go to bed. Lastly, in things that I love that it measures, is it's an activity tracker as well. Based on your readiness score and your activity and your sleep and all those metrics we just talked about, it will give you a target activity for the day. Typically you see this as a calorie recommendation that you should burn. For me, when I'm having like an average day, it'll say 550. When I'm super ready and I'm in the 90s readiness score, it'll be like, dude, 700 calories, get after it. So some cool things it shows you. It'll show you your steps, it'll show you your basic metabolic rate, or as best that it could average it out. It accounts for all those calories that you're burning during sleep, during low activity and things like that. It also can show you the miles that you take in step. Now, I personally don't know how accurate it is, and oftentimes when I'm done, I'm like, I only burnt that? So it's a little deceiving. I'm not sure how accurate it actually is. What I will say is it seems to be pretty accurate when you're doing basic running and jogging and walking. That I think it's accurate with. When you're doing more of the strength training, and it actually recommends that you shouldn't really wear the ring while you're lifting weights and doing machinery, because you could, one, hurt yourself, and two, damage the ring that you paid a pretty penny for. Nevertheless, it has that capability. You can set reminders to get you up and get moving, which is awesome, especially if you're working, sitting down at an office. It'll say, hey, every hour, get the hell up, move your ass. So cool things like that. Really paints a pretty picture on what's going on the inside. What I will say too, in listening to a recent podcast that featured the CEO of Oura Ring, he did mention that there will be a meditation mode that will be coming out in future software release, probably in the May 2019 timeline, so right around the corner. So for all you mindfulness groupies out there, which I would advise you do, and you can, see my view on mindfulness right up here, or at least a sneak preview of what it's really about. It's a super cool feature that will allow the ring to specifically track that time of meditation. Really interesting stuff. So all this data, day in and day out, has helped me make adjustments in my life to really optimize what I'm doing. Some examples include my sleep timing. I realized I was going to sleep a little earlier and skimping out on some of the REM sleep, or the sleep you get at the very end of the night, because I wake up early. So I shifted my sleep timing by about 45 minutes, and I've been getting a lot more REM-rich sleep and keeping with my deep sleep, and I've been getting the best of both worlds in the same amount of sleep time. I've also started avoiding eating big meals and exercising late at night, because that would elevate my resting heart rate. That would lower my heart rate variability as my body was working on digesting, or as it was trying to cool down from the stress of exercise. So I've really focused on really not eating any big meals late at night, as well as getting my exercise in the morning. With this data, you'll be able to basically do an N of 1 experiment to see how all different factors affect your body and your readiness for the day. This could include, like we stated before, late night exercise, food, caffeine, which is a big one, jet lag, short sleep in general, which is anything under 6.5 hours, sleep timing, which I stated before, marijuana, THC, or even CBD oil, as well as the thing we may think aids sleep, but really doesn't, alcohol. And I'll show you a little example. So this past Sunday, or a couple of days ago, and I'm not a big drinker, I had a few glasses of wine, 2 glasses of wine, between about 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoon into evening. Now, everything else across the board was the same. I did the same amount of activity, I had a restful night before, and all that good stuff. Perfect. So let's dig into the data and see how my body reacted here. So as you can see, my overall readiness for that day was 74. So that is a good amount lower than my average baseline. I did get a lot of sleep that night, 8 hours and 43 minutes, and the sleep score was pretty well. My sleep timing, latency, and all that stuff was pretty good, which is one of actually the big misconceptions about alcohol and sleep. Yes, you may doze off faster, but you're not getting the quality sleep at all. You're waking up several times throughout the night that you're really not remembering, as well as alcohol has one of the biggest effects on REM sleep. It wipes out a ton of REM sleep and can be very problematic if it's consumed on a continual basis. So back to the metrics. My body temperature was elevated, my heart rate variability was noticeably lower, being an average of 70 milliseconds and only getting over about 108 milliseconds, which, as you can see in the trends and the data, that it is substantially lower than what it typically is. My REM sleep was low, only 1 hour and 14 minutes. Now, I didn't wake up too much, so that's a good thing, but you can see that my deep sleep really took a hit here. Only 1 hour and 37 minutes, or 18% of my night. I'm typically easily over 2 hours every night, and there was a lot of light sleep, almost 6 hours of light sleep, which almost is, too much light sleep. Sleep is good, but little too much light sleep. And as you look at my resting heart rate, the low was 52 beats per minute, which was higher than my typical low, which is usually in the mid 40s. And the average was all the way at 58. And one of the key things here is you look at the time of my low resting heart rate, it was almost when I woke up. It was around 4 a.m. in the morning, and that's not a good sign of a restful sleep. You really want that low resting heart rate early in the night. So 2 glasses of wine did all this. It made that big of an impact. I mean, if 2 glasses of wine does that, I'm scared to even think what happened in college. I don't even want to think about it. So the Oura Ring has been a game changer for me. I would recommend it for anyone who's looking to really use the cold hard data and drive change with it. This is measuring things that you can't see and could only subjectively notice. Now it's putting that objective data in your hands so you can make changes, so you can optimize the way you live your life. You could find the 2nd generation of this for about $250. There are some promo codes around there. Unfortunately, I don't have one yet. I might have one by the time this video is linked up. Either way, search for some promo codes. It is worth it. You could probably get it for around $200. It is an investment in your health, and if you care about that kind of stuff, it is so worth it. Just another way to optimize the way you're living your life. If you're here already, you're obviously interested in that, so take a look at it. I think it's worth it. I bought it. I hate wearables. I've been wearing it, but the data is just so valuable to me at this point that it's something that I'm putting up with and I'm actually used to, so I barely notice it anymore. That's what I got. That's what the Oura Ring's all about. I love it, and I hate wearables. So that's got to say something. If you want to truly optimize and understand a little more in depth what's going on the inside and how to improve it, the Oura Ring is something you should definitely look into. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate the view and keep understanding you.